You are watching T to the M to the IDD.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? You are now tuned into the Himothy podcast. Okay, today we have no other than Photomeike joined in with me. What is going on?
Nothing, just being a family man this weekend out here at a resort, like a mountain resort with the family. So I'm not at home. So I don't know if there's going to be a visual aspect to this, but if you can see this, you see I'm not in my typical setting. Although you probably can't tell, just a white wall. But yeah, anyways, we are doing family things. So if I have to step away or if I get called, it's because
Oh yeah, gotta go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, no. That's what's up. That's what's up. You gotta enjoy the family time. So we try to this is a good topic right here. So
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna let out a lot of information, and this is a more so geared towards relationships while being a content creator. Okay, so whether you're a
Mm-hmm.
photographer, videographer, in that realm we deal with a lot of things and what ends up happening is I get a lot of questions about how do you handle shooting certain types of content while being in a relationship. So the first thing that I'm going to kick it off with is I'm going to give you a scenario. All right, when I first started YouTube, I was in a full blown relationship. Okay. So I probably was in a relationship for probably about two to 3 years at that point. And then I started saying, all right, I want to be, I was like, all right, I want to start YouTube. So I wasn't even a photographer at that point. I was like, I
Mm-hmm.
just want to start YouTube. So when I started YouTube, I started with the travel stuff. And I started with the travel stuff because that's what I love doing. I love traveling. And if you see like up to this day now, I started reincorporating that into my content that I release. But back then things started slowing down. I wasn't going to as many countries. I was more so in state. I would take a trip out of state. I mean, out of the country, maybe 2 or 3 times. And so, for me to build a YouTube, I quickly found out that that's probably not going to be enough to be consistent on YouTube
Mm-hmm.
with delivering content. So, what ended up happening to me was I was like, what can I do that will allow me to get consistent content. And so, boom, I already had the cameras. So I said, let me do photo shoots. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually started my vlogs. I had the Sony A7S II for my vlog. So before I was doing pictures, I actually had that mirrorless camera, the Sony one. And so,
Yeah, you had the 850, right?
no, I had the, I had the D3400 first.
That's
Yeah.
right, DC. But yeah, but okay, all right.
Yeah. And
That's
then
crazy. You had a S2 for video, but
right
you had a 3400
for
for photo.
for photos.
You had the
Right,
greatest
right.
camera in the world for
At that,
video.
especially at that time, because this was like 2016, 2017. So
Mm-hmm.
that it was hot off the press at that point in time.
Yeah.
So I
Mm-hmm.
spent some money for that Sony. But then I put out a video, no views, put out a video, no views. And at this point, man, my photography was not where it needed to be. And I feel like I kind of hurt myself at that point because a lot of people, they want to see some results if I'm watching your stuff. So if
Yeah.
you putting up this video and you got mediocre pictures and you don't know what you're
Mm-hmm.
doing, you
Yeah.
shooting yourself in the foot out the
It's
gate.
like the blind leading the blind. They're like, yo, I'm blind and
Right.
you blind too. You ain't
Like,
leading me
what are
nowhere.
you doing? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got
Mm-hmm.
so so I pretty much took that and then I was like, man, let me see how I could get some views. All right. And so boom, I was introduced to we I say boudoir back then, but then you know a lot of people say, man, it's just females in lingerie because you ain't really got the boudoir aspect of your photo shoot. You know, you just shooting them and they got lingerie. So I went that route. All right. So I'm in a relationship and I started shooting boudoir. So you know I got like the topless stuff, and I did that because I was like, all right, this is
You
the
did
way
that
to
with
get
no
the view.
skill. You got a girl to be like, all right, cool. You know, and damn well you couldn't take no pictures worth.
Right, and
Boy, been scamming since day one.
and that was the thing. That was the thing. I probably had about 2 or 3 shoots under my belt. All right, and I could not shoot in the studio to save my life. I'm trying to tell you, it was it was drastic. But when I started doing that, it started actually getting me some views.
Some
But
traction, yeah.
then it started giving me traction. But then on the other hand, here we go, my relationship started getting a little rocky. So what was kind of your process with you shooting that type of content?
Well, you know, it's different for me because like outside of being a content creator and a YouTuber, I run a successful husband and wife photography business, right?
Right.
Keyword husband and wife. So most of our struggles happen before YouTube is even an idea. Like our struggles
Okay.
happened when I was looking at YouTube trying to learn, right? And now
Okay.
it's just growing pains in the business, and that's trying to figure out like who's gonna be good at what, who, because like our story is my wife. Long story short, we bought my wife a camera because she was into photography a long time ago. She got depressed, picked up the camera. I saw her pick up the camera and how good she was doing. I was like, I want to do it too. So I kind of joined in too. And
Right.
she was reluctant at first to have me come along, but then she realized I was going to be a benefit. So she started bringing me out. And we're called Ike Tosh Photography in Motion, but we used to be Latasha Haynes Photography. Like for the first
Okay.
like 2-3 years, we were Latasha Haynes Photography, even though it was me and her, right?
Okay.
And then we turned into Ike and Tosh because as we grew, we realized, hey, there's jobs that I could do that she might not want to do or might not be able to do, or we would want to split up. As if it's Latasha Haynes, and then I show up, they're like, who is this guy? Like, we
Right.
used to see Tosh. And she is the voice. In a way, she's much more social.
Right.
Weirdly enough, she's the more voice. Like back then, she was the person who like spoke, she posted. So like, you hear her, you see her, and then I show up. And it's like, huh? So we changed the name to Ike and Tosh, Photography in Motion. And through that, we did like so many different photo shoots, right? And things like that. Now, as far as that type of content, maybe content where it's like with women and suggestive clothing, things like that. We had did a few shoots like that, like together back in the day because we were like a team. Like my wife always like leaned on me for help, like because I'm the technical one, she's the artist. So let's
Yeah.
say like a woman might want to get a shoot done and she'll book us. Of course, Tosh will go shoot, but she'll have me come help because I'm like assisting her. So I've been
Yeah.
around, the block a few times with my wife, and so when it came to me, fast forward starting a YouTube channel, most of my content was just typical like, hey, here's how you do like wedding behind the scenes and things like that. But as time went on, we have a lot of peers who are in the industry who do that kind of content as well. Like I had a
Yeah.
friend who does, women's boudoir photo shoots and things like that. So I've kind of been around. And so when it came time for me to do my own version of that, I don't think it was a big deal just because my wife understands the process. I think that what happens with a lot of people, not just guys, women as well, is your spouse or your partner doesn't respect what you do. They don't respect the art form. They think you just go on there playing, taking pictures for fun, doing bullshit, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because not to like on the flip side, I remember as when I was starting off, I had a friend, another peer. She and her husband were going through issues, and she didn't. She just does weddings and stuff, right? Her husband
Yeah.
worked at Microsoft, and she would say that like, oh, like I'm on the computer working, and he just he thinks I'm on the computer playing. He understands. He doesn't understand like why I be going all day while I'm on the computer all the time. It's because he doesn't respect it. And that's when I realized that like it don't matter what you do, what you shoot. If your partner don't respect your art form or doesn't get it, they're gonna look at you sideways no matter what.
Mm,
And
mm,
you could be. It's like, let's say you shooting like kids at the playground. Well, I don't
yeah.
get it, but it's kids at the playground, so who cares? Now it's like I don't get it, and you got a bad bee in front of your face. Now I'm
Right.
looking at, you know what I mean? So it's just like,
Yeah.
so it's like, oh, I don't get it, but you just shooting a wedding, sorry, whatever, do your little wedding photography and come back
Right.
home and give me attention or what the case to be. But now it's like I'm letting you go out and do the same thing, but with another female by yourself, it's like, nah, I'm looking at you crazy. In the same thing that the constant in all of that is I don't understand what you do. I don't respect your art form. I don't understand why you just show up and take a picture. What's the big deal? And you see that in spouses of the models, right?
Yeah.
So if you have a
Yeah.
model, you had a situation where old girl showed up, she trying to get photos done, and her dude is looking at like, what? Why are we here? Right?
Right.
He don't get
Right.
it.
Right.
Same thing. He don't respect it. He's like, no, I don't
Yeah.
respect this. You don't need to be out here looking like this, wearing this. Like, you need to be like at home in the kitchen, making me a sandwich while I play Call of Duty. Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Man, what?
it's the
Like
same thing.
you don't understand. I
Yeah.
don't understand you sitting down playing Call of Duty all day. But the situation that happened with me was when I first had started, I could not, like, it was harder for me to get people to actually do shoots with. So when I did get those particular shoots, I was really trying to go out my way to make sure I got the content because I was just trying to build my library for YouTube and whatnot. So it would be like
Mm-hmm.
last minute. It would be last minute stuff. I'm supposed to do something with my girl, and I'd be like, I gotta go do this shoot real quick because I knew it might be far and few in between where I would get
Yeah.
somebody else that's willing to
Mm-hmm.
do the shoot with me. So with that particular one, man, I had ended up doing the shoot with the girl, and my girlfriend was kind of like side eyeing me, like, yeah, did you get paid for that? And I'm lying. I'm like, yeah, I got paid because I
See?
knew that it wasn't
See?
going to I knew she wasn't going to understand anything
Understand.
different,
Yep.
right? So so I was like, yeah, I got paid just to kind of make it seem like, oh, okay, at least you did get paid. It's all
Mm-hmm.
good. And so what ended up happening was me and the girl was talking while I was recording everything, and she started asking me about boudoir shoots. And so we
Mm-hmm.
got a little bit into it, but not too deep into the plans. And then my
Mm-hmm.
video had cut off. Now fast forward, uh, my girlfriend had needed a memory card to do something. So I just like randomly handed her a memory
A
card that
SD
I had,
card.
right? Yeah, SD card. So I handed
Okay.
her a SD card, and unbeknownst to me, it was that entire raw
Conversation.
photo, yeah, raw
Yeah.
conversation, right? So I didn't know until after the fact. But like I'm true to what I say. I don't say nothing wild or anything
Yeah.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
So when she seen the whole conversation, she was kind of like, dang, like he ain't say nothing crazy to her. You know what I mean? Like he
Mm-hmm.
was really about his business. The only thing she didn't like was that the fact that as the conversation went about the lingerie photo shoot, it had just abruptly ended at that point because we was done the
Yeah.
photo shoot. So with that situation, it started coming to a point where I'm trying to chase views. So I'm trying to do this topless shoot. I'm doing this boudoir shoot,
Yeah.
and it
Mm-hmm.
was just a reoccurring thing. And so
Mm-hmm.
eventually we ended up breaking up because she just did not trust she
Mm-hmm.
did not trust the fact that I was doing these shoots with the girls, and there will always be something like, "Nah, the way she looking at you, I know she wants you. I know she flirting with you, or I know you doing something with her." And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, it's nothing like that. And I had to let it go because for me, for me, YouTube is kind of like an outlet. All right, so
Mm-hmm.
uh the way I kind of look at YouTube was like when I went to school, I went to college, I got my graduate degrees and all of that stuff. I felt like that was something in life that I had to do in order to have a certain type of lifestyle because I'm from the hood. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I don't have no choice but to college. That's my mindset. That's where everybody kind of preaching to you at that point, man. Go to college, you'll be good. So I'm like, I gotta get my undergrad. And then I'm like, all right, I got to get my graduate and get the most education. And then once I got to that point, I was like, man, I want to do something for me that I just genuinely enjoy doing, like
Mm-hmm.
not because I have to do it, like those degrees I had to get. And so
Yeah.
that's where YouTube came in. It was like, man, like I genuinely enjoy doing this for me because I enjoy the process of creating. And so I really had to tell her like, look, I'm putting me before anything.
Mm-hmm.
So look, this is what I'm doing, and if you okay with this, then you can ride with me. If you not, then it's not going to work because this is what I'm going to do. And so from
Mm-hmm.
that day when like we cut everything off, I have held that same position with any female that wanted to try to be in a relationship with me. I always tell
Mm-hmm.
them like, listen, if you can't handle what I'm doing right here, it's not going to work because I'm not
Mm-hmm.
changing what I'm doing right here because I'm doing this for me. So it's been
Mm-hmm.
situations where a girl a girl wanted to talk to me. She see one of my videos and I'm spraying oil on her, not even rubbing it in. I'm just spraying it
Mm-hmm.
with the can, and I'm getting messages like, I don't like that. That's nah. And I'm like, yeah, see, that's not gonna work. That's
Mm-hmm.
not gonna work right there. So
Mm-hmm.
so in your situation, when you have like those those type of videos, like let's take a Springs video,
Hot Springs, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hot Springs.
Mm-hmm.
You ever caught any amount of flack where it was like, dang, this was kind of a little bit more than I've ever seen my wife react to something that I've done for like YouTube content?
Well, um, you ever heard the term, what they don't know won't hurt them?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Ta-da!
Hey, look.
Look, okay, I'm not going to act like I got the greatest situation in the world where I just could do whatever I want and throw it in my wife's
Right.
face and she just be like, good job, babe. You did that. Like,
Right.
it's a lot. I, it, so we got our own thing going, right? So
Right.
with my wife, she is busy being a boss or whatever the case may be, or doing her own thing, building. We both trying to build. She got
Right.
stuff she trying to build. I got stuff I'm trying to build, right? We built the photography business together, and then she branched off into other areas, aspect, because through photography she realized that, hey, I can connect with people, and that's really her mission, is to connect with people and build friendships and pour into people. I realized, hey, I'm an artist. I like creating, and I like creating cool images, and I like working with women, right? And I like creating
Right.
content and videos and educational things like that with females,
Right.
right? So we started here, and then we branched off. I'm able to do what I want to do in a way, like push the boundaries and create content, because she's doing what she needs to do, right? So she's
Right.
not worried about, she understand, again, going back to understanding, because we both started off in photography and content creation. She understands, oh, he's making YouTube videos, right? And it was a
Right.
gradual push into that lane. Like the first Hot Springs video, I think, was like 2018. I started my
Right.
YouTube in 2019. Sorry, 2016. So it was 2 years of me creating constant videos and just building up to that point, to where, like, all right, boom, now we at the Hot Springs. Now it's getting real, right? And I've had like
Right.
shoots and things like that before it, but like, if you want to talk about edgy content, like, and like when
Right.
dudes look at like, yo, what, like the Hot Springs to me is like the pinnacle
The
of
pinnacle.
pushing the boundaries.
Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. And so I remember the very first time I went out there and did that shoot. I do my shoots and I plan myself, but I don't be like, hey, white, hey, babe, hey, Tosh, I'm about to go to a mountain, hike up to and accidentally get naked. Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Like, I don't do that, right? Who knows? If I would have
Yeah,
presented it like that, might not be no hot springs. I'm just gonna keep
yeah,
it 100
might
with you,
not.
right? Might not be one, right? So, but better to ask for forgiveness than to ask for permission,
Yeah,
right?
hey, hey.
So there's that, right? So I do shit first and ask for forgiveness later. And really, I only gotta ask for forgiveness if you find out. If you never find
Right.
out, I never gotta ask for forgiveness. And fast forward to the next one. And so that aspect of my wife is just not, she's not all over me like looking at what I'm doing. She's not behind my back like trying to pull her.
Yeah.
I don't even try to edit certain things in front of her. I'm not like out like with like editing ass shots while she's like, she'll see it, she'll know it. Like
Yeah.
she's not like, dumb to it. She knows that shit don't
Oblivious
exist.
to it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's just not. It's not like I don't just put it, throw it out in front of. I'm careful about like what I edit and what I show. So every time I leave, and she said, "Hey, I'm going to go do a photo shoot." Okay, all right, cool. How long you gonna be gone? I'm going for this way. I'm going. I just say I'm going to go do a photo shoot because that's what I'm going to go do, a photo shoot. Right? Whether I'm going to do a photo shoot with a girl in a dress or a girl in a bikini, I'm going to do a photo shoot. What does it
Right.
matter?
Right.
That's what I'm doing, and I'm coming back, right? So if it's a little kid in front of my camera or a grown up woman, I am going to do a photo shoot. I'm creating content. And if you have a partner that understands that it's a little bit easier for you to move around here and do what you need to do to create the content because they understand, oh, he's an artist. He's creating art. He's not doing something with the intention of other things, right? And I
Right.
think in your situation you ran into those situations where it's like your partner or your potential partners saw it as so you trying to be slick or whatever the case be. They didn't see you as creating content and being an artist. They saw you spraying somebody, and instead of because the oil is going to make their body moisture and add depth to the images and just give it a little bit more pop, they just saw
Right.
you as oil some booty up.
Right.
My
Right.
wife sees it
Right.
one way, yours sees it a different way. That's the only difference.
Right. Right. That's true.
So
So when you get when you get into like these situations, you ever been in a particular situation where you was like, man, this female a little touchy or a little trying to come on to me or something like that.
you know, uh, I'm trying to think. Maybe not. Maybe during the shoot.
Uh-huh.
But because like I play it cool, I never
Right.
I just never I never think about it like because
Right.
again I have an agenda myself, right?
Right. Right.
So a lot of times what you see on YouTube is collab work, as me working for the client. And I have an agenda to get the content. The content comes first before anything. So
Right.
if
Right.
somebody is maybe like a little bit closer or maybe rubby, like I might use that for the content. I might use it to play I might use it to try to trigger somebody to be like, oh, because again, I know what I'm doing. I'm here to
Right.
keep it cool, right?
Right.
Whatever they trying to do is that's on them. That's not on me, right? So
Yeah. I agree with you.
I've had like people maybe say things or things like that, but I just was like, oh, okay, all right, well that's cute. I mean, well, I got the video now. We cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I always joke that like, yo, if I don't get the content, it's a waste of time, and it is. It's like I didn't get the content I want. Like, well, that's
Right.
cool, but I'm here for
Right.
the content. So,
Right. Right.
even in that regard, like, a lot of things get recorded, but you only see but so much. You only see what I want you to see, right?
Right.
And so
Right.
even in those aspects, if I feel like this might be a situation that might like have somebody look at me crazy, I just edit it out. Unless
Right.
I can, unless it's something that like that's more on my like if I'm like intentional and I'm doing it on purpose, like so for
Right.
example, like I have this game where like some of the models I'm rubbing them and I'm smacking, on the backside or whatever. That's
Right.
premeditated. That's not an accident. It's not like a oopsie, like oop,
Yeah.
it's not like it's already been set up for that to be that way, right? And so
Yeah.
if any questions or anybody asks, oh, it's content. We're just creating content. That's and I'm
Right.
in control of that. Whereas on the other side, like, and I've never had this happen. But let's say like I'm showing, a girl a picture and she reached down and grabbed my junk, and I'm like, yo, whoa, that's probably gonna be
Yeah.
cut out. Like you probably not gonna see that. Like it's never happened to me. I'm telling you right now, it's never
Yeah.
happened. But like just to give you an idea of how I have control over the situation, I would cut that out. I wouldn't see the light of day,
Right.
and
Right.
I would know like, all right, I gotta move different around you because you little, So
Yeah. You a little. You ready to stand on business.
yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna be in control of the situation at all times. Trust and believe, right? So
That's
and
that's one thing. Go ahead.
I'm in control of that, and I'm in control of my house in a way. Like I'm
Yeah.
not just gonna let like people because I got an agenda, I got a goal I'm trying to. Just like how you said, like, hey, this is what I'm doing. If you can't handle it, then it's not gonna work. It's the same way over here. Not to that degree. I'm not like, well, if you don't like it, then kick rocks, right? Because
Yeah.
we were
Yeah.
married for a long time, so
Yeah. Right.
there was a little bit more commitment involved, a little bit more situation, but like, you know, that ties into it. The fact that we are married and been in a relationship for a long time, it's not as easy for her to just be like, I don't like, what I mean? Like, it's gonna be an argument, right?
Right.
We're gonna figure out a way to make it work for both of us. So,
Right. Right. I tell people all the time. I mean, now that I'm single, it's definitely a lot easier for me to traverse through these waters because I don't have to worry about it at all. Right. So it's kind of like the best possible case to have. But people still ask me like, man, I know you doing something with this model. I know this model is on you. And I honestly be trying to tell them like, bro, I think content first because with any of them, especially if it's a bad model, the moment you do something with them, the whole dynamic change. Now if I was in my younger age, then I probably would have. I wouldn't even be thinking like that. You would just be like, oh, I'm ready to go. But at this point, it's like, no, I know I need her for the long haul to help carry this channel. And when I need that content, I'm gonna have that person that I can call and be like, yo, I just got this gear. Can we do this and make it happen? Versus, man, once you cross that line, things get rocky.
and it's interesting, again, so a guy that's saying that and the girl, they both carry the same mindset, right? They don't look at you as creating art. They look at it as you with intention because they might have an intention. So
Hmm.
going back to where like if your girl saw you spraying the other girl down, oh no, I don't like that because it's like, well, you inviting that kind of attention or you basically putting yourself in a situation for A, B, C to happen, right? They don't see it as
Right.
you just being an artist. A, we stop in the A, artist, right? I'm being an artist, I'm
Right.
creating art. This is part of me creating art. They see it as A, B, C, you about to give them the D, right? So
Yeah. Right.
we here at A, they at D,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. You like, I ain't even thinking about that. I ain't even.
I even got
Yeah.
past the B. She do got some D cups, but
But
but no, like
that's
yeah, right. And so guys do the same thing. Guys do the same as much as like we as men are talking about like, oh, how do you get a spouse to be okay? Like men are just as bad as the women. The men will look at your video and be like, I know he gotta be. And it's just like, how can we as men want and even as other men we throw ourselves under the bus, right? In a way.
right. Right.
And I've seen, and not to say that those things that this doesn't exist, because we've heard stories, we see it all the time. Photographers getting
Right.
into it, or the photographer model, or the guy with the camera, the creep dude that like doesn't doing favors, the models who are doing favors. You know what I mean? That exists. I'm
Right.
not saying that doesn't exist, right?
Right.
But most of the time when things like that happen, the times I've seen things like that, it's usually on like photographers who don't create content. They're just doing photos, right? I guess not, but like
Right.
photographers. I've heard of a photographer who's a big time photographer who's done things with certain models, right? But you only
Right.
see pictures. We're creating YouTube videos. Like you said,
Right.
that's a different dynamic. That's a whole lot more energy that has to be
Right.
exchanged and showcased, right? And so like you said, once you go past a certain point with a model, it's just like now it's like you distracted. The content might not come across like how you want it. The shoot just
Right.
might get, whatever the case would be. And so what people got to understand is that you got to you really got to be concerned about the stuff you don't see, not the stuff you do see. Like in that
Right.
regard, is if you like, I would tell my wife, if you worried about any of these models, them not the ones you need to be worried about. It's the ones
Right.
that don't show up.
Boy, yeah, I had that shoot with such and such, and I ain't seen that video in the light of day. What happened
Exactly.
right there?
Look here, if the video made it on YouTube, trust me, we good. Now, don't get me wrong. I
Yeah.
got videos that I never put up because the video, but like what I'm saying is that like, it's just stuff that you don't see. People see you working with somebody and all you assume it's like, no, bro, we good. Like that.
Yeah.
If I go
Yeah.
and yeah. So
Like, yeah, I ain't gotta worry about it. I ain't got yes,
yeah,
and to kind of piggyback off of what you saying, I believe like once you do cross that line, you will see it. Since we got the visual aspect, you can see like the energy is different. You know what I mean? Because now that model a little more loose to you because y'all done went past the line. So now you kind of questioning like, whoa, what's going on right here? You
yeah,
know what I mean? And I think that's the piece people gotta understand. So when it comes to working in those environments that we do, I will say a lot of the times, since I am so content driven, I'm oblivious to the fact that things are going on. So like for example, I'm doing a shoot in my home studio. All right, the model, like her energy is kind of gone because she's hungry. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, that's cool. I'm live and everything. So everybody's in there. The model said she was hungry, so she was going to get something to eat. I was like, all right, that's fine. Like I got the shots that I need. I was like, you can go ahead and get something to eat. I'll catch up with you another day. Still on live the whole time. Man, she ordered some food and she was going to go pick it up. It had to be at least like an hour had went past and she still hadn't left my house. So everybody on the live like, all right, hold on. She ain't that hungry. She still at your house. You know what I mean?
I
Like
think I remember that. Yeah.
like yeah, she ain't that but and they see it as one way, but me, I don't even look at it that way because it's like I'm not even trying to present myself to them in that light of like, man, I'm trying to get at you, or I'm
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
see what's
yeah.
up with you. You know what I mean? So it's always oblivious to me. Like I almost to myself don't even think like, man, could I get her? Like I don't even think I could get her. You know what I mean? Because sometimes they be so bad. I'd be like, I don't even think I could get her. So I don't even think like that. You know?
Well, and it's a certain way you move when you have that intention. When you're just moving with pure intentions, you like, oh yeah, well go order your food, like do your thing, like
Right.
bye, cool. Where it's like, if you on that kind of timing, oh what you want? You want me to get it for you? I can order it for you. You want to go
Right.
together? Let's go together. I'm hungry. You know what I mean? It's just a different way you move when you're in that type of time versus like, you're just trying to keep it cool. Like, oh, I'm just trying to keep it cool because I don't want to mess up this situation because I like creating content and I want to be able to get you back again for other content or whatever the case it be, or you know what I mean.
Right.
So yeah,
So
it's
you
just a
on
certain
you
way
on
you move
demon time.
around. Yeah,
Now
that's why I
now
said
uh-huh.
the shit you would really have to worry about is you don't see.
The stuff he don't see.
The stuff you don't see. All right.
now now
That's
have
just a
you
little game. That's a little game for all y'all out there. I ain't
oh
giving y'all too
everybody
much.
he giving up the sauce. He giving up the sauce. So
Yeah.
was there ever a situation for you where your wife said, man, I don't want you shooting with her no more? Like, yeah, that's dead.
Bro. No,
No? Okay. Okay.
no, there wasn't. Um, well, not really.
Okay.
Not if it was because I did that. Like I did have a situation where like somebody tried to spread some rumor about me doing something crazy that I didn't do. I didn't actually do at
Okay.
all. And like they tried to say that I was doing something with the models, with model like S models, like several models. And I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
what? And apparently, like that, one of the models I work with was like, yeah, I came over and he smelled my underwear. Some crazy shit she said, and I was like, who said? And then I saw who said it, and I was like, wait, what? She said that. I was like, man, I ain't do that.
Wow.
And so to me, I cut ties. So
Oh yeah.
um, in any situation where like I can't shoot with a model no more, it's because they started acting crazy, and I shut it down.
Oh yeah.
Not her. She's never said you can't, but I did it. I jumped in and said I'm gonna take initiative to shut it down. Like I'm not shooting with this model no more because she jumping out the window trying to like have me looking crazy, and I can't have no.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I got too much to lose
Right.
to be
Right.
mess around with you. So it's been those type of situations.
Right.
There was a model recently or a person who I created content with that just got mad at me for some reason and went off at the handle and DM'd my wife and was like, "Oh, this, that, and the third." Actually, she didn't. She didn't even get that far. She tried to say something, but she didn't even. I guess she backed down or whatever the case would be.
Okay.
I was like, you know what? Scratch her off the list. Unfollow. I just cut ties basically because I was like, yeah, no, I don't
Yeah.
need people like you in my life. So I'm like, all right, you out.
Right.
But to answer your question directly, yeah, no, there's never been a situation where my wife's like, you can't. I think maybe they were just mutual understanding that like this person ain't coming around no more. Like, nah, I
This
can't
one,
do it.
yeah, yeah. Like,
Yeah,
you, you out,
yeah.
you out. We ain't about to do this. We ain't about to do this. And
What's
you
that? What's
made
that? Mike Epps. Have you seen the Mike Epps? Like, hello. Yeah, you can't come around here no more. You messing up my home. Click.
yeah, we got a happy home over here. You
Yeah,
you trying to mess it up.
yeah,
That you make a good point on that piece where you kind of talking about the reputation. That's one of the
yeah,
things
man.
that I said that I tell a lot of people that I work with, like a lot of the models. I'm like, listen, like you could check my track record. I feel like the YouTube is a good platform to have because you can look and see who I'm working with. You can see if I'm working with them repeatedly. Then to even go to the live stream, you can see exactly how the dynamic is.
That's the
And I
point.
feel
That's why I was
like,
like, yo, like when I saw the messages from people saying, oh yeah, when I shot with him, this, that, and the third, I was like, yo, but we was live. And you was on
right,
live kicking it, having a great time. Like, what do you mean?
right,
Like, this ain't no Cassie Diddy situation. Like, you
right,
could have left at any time. Like, nigga, with this, well, you know what I mean? Like, wasn't it like, and
right.
that's one of the benefits. It's one of the, I don't go live to be like, oh look, make sure I just go
Yeah,
live for content.
content.
It's by nature that I'm trying to get so much content that it also creates an environment where like, hey, you can see what's going on here, you can see the energy, right?
Right,
So if anybody try to say that something happened, whatever the case be, we got video footage.
right.
Not only of me recording everything for the shoot, but also footage of me just showing it live so you can see the
Showing a
energy.
lot.
I remember a friend of
Right.
mine, well, not a friend of mine, he had a situation with a model. His friend, somebody he knows. So a guy that I know, a guy that he knows,
Right.
I guess was what a model was oiling him up and did something crazy, and they got caught him because she recorded him or some shit like that doing something, and she used that to try to say that he this that and the third. But I record shit myself, so like before you even
Right.
try
Right.
that, I got the video.
Right. I got the video right here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And what I kind of hinder on with that is that like I'm using all of those mediums because this this is bigger. Like when you work with models in your city, things like that, they don't understand the difference between like a YouTube content creator versus
Mm-hmm.
a local photographer. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
that local photographer, they not thinking about video. They just trying to get those images. So they not thinking about their reputation as much. Whereas on the YouTube side, I'm like, yo, my name is everything in this space.
Mm-hmm.
And like my name is global. So you attach
Mm-hmm.
something to that negative, that's blowing up my whole spot and what I'm trying to do over here. So I'm not
Yeah.
just this person that's a local photographer. Like, no, I'm trying to reach this country, this continent. And so for me to put myself in that box is going to hinder everything. So I'm sorry to let you know this, but this is bigger than even you as the model. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm not
Yep.
I'm not thinking about you. Like you are like a small thing to a giant of what I'm trying to accomplish, you know?
Small piece of the puzzle. Yeah.
Right, right.
Mm-hmm.
And once they understand that, it's like, oh man, all right. And don't get it twisted. Like what how J. Cole say, it's somebody, always somebody out there better than you are. So don't
Mm-hmm.
don't think don't think that you the baddest thing on the earth.
Well, so are you single?
Yeah, I am single now.
So are you single? So let me ask you this, because like, we talk about relationships and things like that. It's interesting now. I've been married since 2007. I've been married 16 years now, almost 17
Oh
years,
yeah,
right? I married a
yeah,
long time, right?
right.
I got married young at the age of 24. I think I was 24 and my wife was 25 when we got married. And we waited 5 years and then we had our first kid, right?
Okay.
Through photography, I realized that, like, because people say, "Oh, guys get a camera to holler at women, this, that, and the third." I'm like, that's not me.
Right,
I've been married. I'm just trying to create content. But
right,
it has opened the door or given me access to a lot of women that I wouldn't normally have access to without that camera.
right.
And in that, I'm just like, I wonder if I was single. You know what I mean? Because you said like, oh yeah, I just be crazy. I don't even really think I can get over. I'm on something else. Like, but like,
Right.
have you ever had a situation where like, I probably could if I wanted to, like, with a particular model, because she might be receptive to whatever advances that you might make. Because I mean, I've been around certain people where like, they're like, yo, she bad. I'm like, that's the homie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm like, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know.
And that's how I look at a lot of them. Like, if we keeping it 100 right now, it's a
Mm-hmm.
few, it's a few that like I regularly shoot, that I know if I did try to make an advance that it would go through. And I think
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more so like not even on the photography side, is because they have started to know me as a person, and so they see like all the accolades, like, oh, he a NASA engineer, he driving these
Mm-hmm.
type of cars, like I know he got this type of money. So when you look at the whole picture, it's not even the fact on the photographer side, it's just like, dang, it's probably a dude that I would want to be with, you know what I
A
mean?
catch. He's a catch.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
basically like a catch.
He's
So I
talented. He's a talented person who has a stable income, who other
right.
men respect and look up to.
Right, right, right. And so when you put it in that type of space, it's like I know if I wanted to, that it could be something, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, if I try to talk to somebody, is I man, I've really been in a weird space like lately, because I haven't been in a space to even try to talk to women, just because I just been so focused on trying to grow my brand, that it's been
Mm-hmm.
crazy. Especially, you getting older and you like, man, I know I won't have this much time when I have a family, so i'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to i'm trying
Yeah.
to milk the fact that I do
Mm-hmm.
have this time right now, because once I settle down, start having kids and all of that, then all of that time that I can put into what I'm doing right now, I'm not going to
Mm-hmm.
have as much. So I'm just trying to take all that in right now. But the the thing that I think is the most is like, once I'm in that position, I know it's gonna shut down. I'm not gonna have as much access as I
Mm.
once did. So I kinda live like that.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So you like, all right, Esmeralda, like, if I was ready to settle down, I might holler at you, but I ain't trying to do that right now.
Right,
So.
right. And so I was gonna say, like, the approach that I say with females, because if I'm gonna talk to a female, they definitely gonna be bad, all right.
Mm-hmm.
And so the approach
Especially
that I
now.
have taken, yeah, the approach that I have taken in the past was
Mm-hmm.
like, I separate the two off it, like when I'm reaching out to the person, because like it might be through Instagram or something like that. And so I have a photographer profile. So when I reach out to them, I tell them like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, I'm coming to you as me, the human, not the photographer. All right, like
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not trying to take no pictures. Like this is
Mm-hmm.
not no photographer stuff. This is not no
Mm-hmm.
business type stuff. This is me trying to pursue you as a man. And I easily distinguish those two because something about being a photographer and coming at a female is a whole different ball game
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
now
You
you
do
get the
open it. You
piece
do go
where, oh,
into that
you a
stereotype.
creep
Yeah,
or you a
and then what it sets you up for is, well, that's how you got me. What makes you like?
right,
I don't know you ain't doing it to
right.
her. Like,
Right. Like
what you
who
mean? You
else you
hollered at
done
me
did
to
that
take
with?
pictures, then you try to, you know what I mean? Like, so.
And you done flipped the script. So yeah, man,
Mm-hmm.
how many? Oh, let me go through your timeline. How many
Yeah.
more of them have you been like that?
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly. Yep.
and I've had videos. Actually, I did one where I was out in when I was out in Portugal, and I make I for me, you know how you say like you premeditated stuff, you'll kind of do certain type of jokes because you know that they are good for content,
Yep.
the entertainment piece for your video. So
Mm-hmm.
I in one video I had asked the girl, she was from Wales, right? So I was like, man, you ever been with an American before? And so I'm talking about, you ever been with an American as far as like a photographer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody seen that and was like, wow, like, you know what I mean? Like, is that how it is over there? And I'm like, you don't understand the content that I'm trying to make, like I'm trying to add the
Yeah.
entertainment piece in there,
Mm-hmm.
and but you also gotta watch that type of stuff because even though she understood, the joke and everything, you still
Mm-hmm.
gotta, when you putting your stuff out to a global audience, you still gotta make sure that they receive it the same way that you intended it to be received.
So I've learned, and again, like I do things because sometimes I want to trigger people. Like
Right, right, right.
for the people that get it, cool, they get it. For the people that don't, cool, you don't get it. Either
Right,
way, in the content creation game, you gotta trigger response or trigger an emotion. Whether if you gotta make people happy or make people mad. If you don't trigger anything, it's like it's not gonna do well. So
right.
whether I'm doing something that's gonna be like sharing, like, oh, look, this what he does, because again, right,
Hmm.
you and the model understood what was going on, and so as long as the person in the content is cool, whatever you perceive the content to be, however you play it, that's, you take it how you take it. Like, you know,
Right.
whether you think
I
it's a joke
remember.
or you think I'm serious, we understand what's going on.
Right,
This is a scene, this is a movie, and we made the movie, and you can watch the movie, and you're gonna be mad about it, happy about it, but
right.
as long as you
That
react.
that that kind of make me think about like one comment I seen on your stuff. I think it was a oiling scene where you was doing
Mm-hmm.
like oil, and somebody was like, "Man, I think you need to stop because I'm cringing at this point."
Oh yeah, yeah, and I'm like, great.
Great.
I'll heart the comment. I'll heart the comment like I heart everything else. Because I'm like, all right, cool. Like, but you see, he left the comment, right?
Right, right.
Most of the
So I
guys
got
who
that
does the,
engagement.
yeah, exactly. I got the engagement, and you felt some kind of way, and either you going to continue watching to see and wait for this scene to blow up, or you just gonna not watch. And like, I remember looking at a video like a Jasmine Star, and she was like, you're going to, back in the day, like when it's time to find like the type of customer or your people, you're gonna push
Yeah.
people away and you're gonna pull people in, and you gotta do what you gotta do to push people away. So I'm trying to push away as many people who I need to push away who won't get it, because I don't need a bunch of people towing the line or anybody who's like wishy
Right.
washy. I need you to be 100% before my content and understand what I'm
Right.
doing. And if you
Right.
don't like it, don't like it, right? And
Right.
watch it and don't like it, but don't just be like, well, I don't know. So I
Right.
do things like that to piss people off, to get them away, because I'm going to be who I am, and I don't want to be
Right.
like, well, I'm not going to do that in the next video because I made this guy mad. So the
Matt,
next
right.
video I'm not going to do the or because I don't want to offend anybody. The people who like it, great. I'm gonna do it again for you, for
Right.
those people. So
Right. And you know that's important because when you talk about that, it's kind of like you filtering out your audience to have a strong
Exactly. Yeah.
community, because why would I have this person straggling that's not going to support all my content? Like I rather have 1,000 people that I know going to watch everything than 10,000 people that's on the line of
Yeah.
I don't want to see it, because I know I
Or
got
that's gonna
1,000
hate you.
strong people.
Yeah, yeah, that part. Or like, you know what I mean. And so, and going back to the relationship aspect, I've had people like reach out to my wife like, hey, like, is everything okay? Like, at least she told me. She's like, yeah, people send me messages like, what's going on with you, Ike? Like, are you okay? Or
Oh
they
yeah,
ask her how does she deal with, right? And she just like, she knows, she understands. I'm just creating content. I'm just out here. I'm not doing anything with these people. Like, I'm coming back home, like,
right,
and the person that you would really need to hear from is if the model says, "Hey, I just got done doing a shoot with your husband, and I didn't feel comfortable because he did this, that, and that." That's the real issue, not somebody
yeah,
watching it and feeling upset about it and then flying off at the angle. And again, those people who watch it be like, "Oh, you should put the hands on them," because I'm like, "Yo, me and the model have a understanding. She gave me
right,
permission to do that. Why are you up in arms about something that she could get
right,
too F's
right,
about? You know?"
right.
So.
Yeah, it's like, dang, you all up in the business. Like you don't know what occurred before I put this video together. Like
And you're
you
seeing it because I want you to see it.
see it.
You're not seeing this on accident. This isn't
Right.
I didn't mean to cut I put this in here for you to see, for everybody to see it. My wife sees it, she sees it. Like if you see it, you see it. Like
Right. So in conclusion, what would you say is the best way for other people in these situations
you know,
to go through being able to shoot this type of content and have like a happy home?
that's hard to say, right? Because
Okay.
in one respect, I feel lucky that like my wife understands and she's cool about things. Like
Right.
there've been a few situations where like I might have did some content or did whatever, and she might have been like, "All right, shut it down. Like I don't feel comfortable. Like you
Yeah.
can't do this no more." And that be it. But it's never been that. So I'm lucky to have somebody with the personality to just be cool with things, just not not try to stifle my creativity, and also want to
Right.
support me in my endeavor. And that's the biggest thing. Like when I hear other guys come to me like, "Man, I wish I could do what you do. My wife would never
Right.
let me. My wife would never let me." I feel sad a lot of times, or I feel bad. Not sad. Sad is like I never feel like but it's like, man, that sucks because you don't have somebody who's going to support you in your endeavors and cheer you on, right? It's not, and
Right. Right.
it's not like I need somebody to support me rubbing bitches. I mean, women's ass for oil. Like that's not that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
need to have a female assistant on deck and to do all that stuff, just so you can still create the content you create, so be it. But just like because I know a lot of guys who have been married, 15, 20 years who do the kind of content, even worse, way worse content than I do. And
Man.
these boxers don't have no issue with it. And then I do what I do, and then I see guys that see me and be like, "Man, how do you get away with that?" I'm like, "Get away with what? This ain't nothing."
This ain't nothing compared
Right?
to.
Yeah, for the people out, yeah, like I'm like, this ain't even like you can't even do this. This is entertainment, stupid stuff. Like you can't even get this. So like, I mean, it's really important because if you with somebody who is jealous, who ain't gonna let you do that, and they don't understand, it goes back to understanding. If they don't understand what you do and why you do, like you've been with a girl for like, in your situation, you was with old girl for 2-3 years until
Right.
you decided to pick up the camera. So you sprung that on her. And she was
Right.
like, "Wait, this is not the
Wait.
person who
Whoa.
I."
Whoa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, she never had that issue. She hadn't had to worry about that before. And then you sprung up other women in front of her. And now she's and it kind of gradually got to a point, right? You could have
Yeah.
got to some spot where like it just ended and she'd still you might be together to this day, right? But
Right.
as
Right.
you progressed it, she was like, "Nah, I'm not comfortable with this." And I
They getting
mean,
badder and badder.
yeah, and for some of you, unfortunately, that's just going to be a situation that you have to deal with. Like everybody don't get lucky in life. Not all of us are going to have, everything. And so like I always look at it like, yeah, I mean, I might get to do this, but you might have something that I don't have, right? Everybody has something,
Right.
right? So I try not to get caught up in or I try not to make people feel bad or try to have people feel bad, because like everything ain't
Right.
for everybody, and everybody can't do everything, right? So
Right.
there might be things that I can do, and you might have a spouse or partner and a camera, and you might want to do that, and she want to like, and that it is what it is. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I
but
don't know. Like I thought I had advice. I thought I could tell people, oh, just bring your partner with you, have her help on shoots, and maybe she'll understand. But that's going to be something that she's got to deal with. It could be some trauma
hmm
in a relationship. You might have did some stuff that make her feel like, nah, I gotta let this
Right.
out. Like,
Right.
you
Right.
know, like,
Right.
how long y'all been together? Like, did she see some messages in the past that, like, have a look at you crazy? I got a friend that, like, you know, his wife, we don't know for sure, but he was like, I think she has a paranoid personality disorder. In a way that she's always paranoid that there's somebody's trying to get her or something. So it's like, anytime he interacts with a female for whatever, he has to be super careful, because she's got one eye, like, and she's gonna
Oh yeah.
question everything that he does, and that's his wife. Like,
Yeah.
you don't just leave her. I mean, you
Yeah.
could, but I mean, so that's just, so he either has to say, hey, you're gonna deal with it and leave me, or he has to just work around the parameters that are set in a relationship. We all got to work around the parameters, right? I mean,
Yeah.
so. You might meet you a super religious girl who's like, no, I don't believe in none of that. You can't do that. And she might be the best woman in the world. You might have to shut some of it down for her. Like,
Man. Man.
I
You know
I
that.
hope not. But because, again, like, so my wife, right?
Yeah.
My wife lets me do things that like other guys wouldn't be allowed to do. But I let her do things that some other men wouldn't want their spouses to do. Like my wife,
Yeah.
she wants to, if she came to me tomorrow and said, "Hey, I want to go to Miami with my girls, and I got the money," I'd be like, "All right, cool, have fun."
Yeah.
And hey, can you stay here with the kids? The 3 kids I got, I'd be like, "All right, cool, do your thing." Because I know when I
Yeah.
want to do my stuff. Now there's some guys who are like, "Hell no, you stay your ass right here." Kind of, So
Yeah.
that's the dynamics that we set. Like, and so for some of us out there, now I would say for those of you who aren't in a relationship and want to try to figure out how to get into that, I would just say set the expectations early. Like, set those boundaries early, and try to have your spouse understand what you do as much as possible, and be a part of the conversation or the creation process, so that they like at least feel like they have some way like they can like be supporting you and relate to it, as opposed to like you leaving out and coming in, and all of a sudden you see these women and there's like questions, And in
Right.
this era, with content creation being like more normalized, I think in a
Yeah.
way, I think more people are probably starting to get open to it. Like, most of the guys I talk to are older generation, so this is still
Yeah.
new. This is like a new phenomenon. Whereas I don't know how old are you?
I'm 31.
Okay, so you're 31. So you in that generation where like somebody that you meet will be in tune with that too. They understand. They get it. Like, oh yeah, this is
Yeah.
content creation.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
they
what it is.
understand how. Whereas like the older people, I'm 40. I'll be 41 in May next
Oh
year,
yeah.
right? So like it's a 10-year difference, and that gap of knowing like, oh yeah, like content and models and things like that are just, and the even younger crowd to understand. Like, everybody want to be YouTubers now. Like, all these young kids want
Right.
to be YouTubers, and
Right.
um. So you said in conclusion, what was it? Let me go back to that.
Yeah. In conclusion, the advice you would give to someone trying to do this that is in a relationship.
So if you're serious about trying to get your spouse or your situation, your wife or whoever, to try to get on board with you making content, with making whatever content you want to make, right?
Right.
If it was
Even if it's
me,
OnlyFans, huh?
yeah,
Oh,
whatever
that's a
whatever
little
the case
step
may
more.
be, right? If it was me, you want to figure out like what it is if your spouse has objection to it, figure out what those objections are,
Right.
right? And then figure out how to work around those objections. Now, if your spouse says, "Hey, I don't like you working with women," because in situations that maybe say, "Hey, what if I get an assistant, like a female assistant to help, or somebody with me, or if I invited you to the shoot, would that be okay?" And if she says, "Yeah," then cool. Now, because I've seen people where they brought they spouse or whatever, and it's still kind of like you got to deal with that. You guys deal with it, and y'all got to figure it out, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Also, make sure you get with somebody that supports you. Like, be with somebody that's gonna support your dreams, your endeavors, your hobbies, whatever. If you're not hurting anybody, if you're not like messing up anything, and if you're doing what you're supposed to do as a man, like I do what I'm supposed to do as a man, right? For this house, I take care of my family, I provide.
right,
Like, I got my wife's back, so she don't got no issue with me doing what I got to do because I am who I am, right?
right, right.
Some of you, I mean, I hate to use it too. Some of you might have to step it up. Like, you might have to put on that alpha gene and be like, "Hey, look, this is what I'm doing, and you're gonna be
That's
okay
what
with
we're
it,
gonna
right?"
do.
Yeah, yeah. Because I tell you, it's a lot of guys. I'm just like, yo, bro, like your wife won't let you. What you mean your wife won't let you? Like, you
Right,
let you?
right.
What? Again, I haven't been in, so I can't say to how I would react to the situation. But like, I haven't been in this, but like, I just couldn't. I don't know, like letting you, like when you supposed to be running the house, like what you mean, like. But some guys are just they're just more on they're more the
Yeah,
softer end of things. I'm just like, all right, if you say no to this, it's like all right, if you won't let me, I'm gonna do it. So you're either gonna let me do it or I'm gonna do it behind your back. Either way, I'm doing it. I am who I am, right? So, and if you want to leave me over that, then so be it. It depends on how important is this to you. Right? Are you trying to get your rocks off, or is there something you really trying to develop? Because you only got one life
yeah,
to live. Or you only got
right.
one life to live. And when I talk about Clubhouse, there's a guy. Remember, this is a guy on Clubhouse. His name's Jay Lorenzo, and he's shot a lot of celebrities, and he's been divorced like twice. And he said that like his ex-wife was like supported him, and he worked hard to build the life. They had a nice house. He provided a nice life, but he was always gone working. She divorced
Oh
him,
yeah,
and it was
yeah.
just like, yo, but you only got one life to live. So he still does pictures to this day. He was like, yo, when you bury me, I might be taking pictures as I'm going in the ground, because that's how important photography is to him, right? His
Yeah,
family and
yeah,
everything is important, but like and I'm just talking about men as men. If
yeah,
you're a female
yeah.
watching this, vice versa. As a man, one, you only got one life to live, and like if something's gonna make you happy and keep your mental health, because that's the thing, like that. If that's gonna help keep you like up and give you purpose, right?
Right,
Then like don't like stunt your happiness, like for somebody, because like it's be a sad day to die with a bunch of regrets. Like, man, I wish I would have picked
right,
up the
right,
camera. Like, oh
right.
man, I wish I did this, but my wife didn't let me. Now, if your spouse makes you happy and you okay because like you get fulfillment, then so be it. But like I would just hate for somebody to be like, yo, like I really want to do this, but my wife didn't let me, and she left me anyway. And then it's like, yo, bro. So
So you should have just been doing it just from the start.
exactly.
Hey, listen, that's some good advice. I definitely hope you all take heed to that advice and kind of got some insight into our different situations. Like me starting
Hmm.
off as a different dynamic to me being single now as to what I could do and how I travel to these different places. I know you mentioned like the camera gave you access to different things. And one thing I will say is that is definitely true. I feel like it's been a positive thing for me as far as
Hmm.
having the camera, just because, like, for example, I went to Paris by myself. It gave me the ability to not be by myself because I was able to
Hmm.
connect with other models while I was there
Hmm.
because I had the camera. So in
Hmm.
that particular instance, I felt fortunate to have that art as kind of like a tool in my bag, because now I'm not by myself in a whole nother country. You know what I mean? And I'm able
Yeah.
to network and build relationships with people in other places. So they see kind of the negative sometimes, and sometimes you got to
Hmm.
circle back and show them like the positive of it. So that's something that you can use as well. But man, I definitely appreciate you taking the time to talk about your situation, because I know your situation might turn some heads for some folks who don't understand the dynamics, inside of your relationship. And that's what people got to understand. You are just outside looking in.
Exactly. Everybody relationship is different. Don't look at what going in my household and think that like your household should run the way mine run, because everything, like, everybody is running their own race. And so, if you need to use me to try to convince your spouse, then try to use me as much as you can to say, hey, look, this guy does it. He, because if you on the phone with your spouse and you need to put me on a 3-way call to try to help, mediate things and kind of, explain, hey, I'm going to do that, or whatever case may be. But and I want to have this conversation with my wife and have her bring her in. So I might do this on my channel and just have the conversation with her and just kind of get
Oh
her
yeah, I
what
think
she
that'll
thinks
be
about.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that'll be good right there.
Shoot, had we went live, I would have called up here, but um, we
Yeah,
got to do something in 30 minutes. We got to go in a few minutes. Anyway. We
yeah,
got to go do
yeah.
this thing. But yeah, no, yeah, like, you know, uh, good luck to you guys out there. Hopefully you take my advice as far as like trying to figure out like what your spouse is objecting to, maybe get some therapy, because there might be deeper issues at hand that you might need to address beside you taking pictures. Help them
Right,
understand what's going on. If they feel like you shouldn't be out there unless you get money, figure out how to get money, right?
right, right.
Um,
Or did you already try to set up a sneaky link on the side and she caught you, and so
yeah,
now
exactly. Yeah, now
that's
yeah,
triggering
exactly.
because she didn't
Yeah.
already caught you trying to do something, and now you
Hmm.
trying to circle back and say you doing
Yeah.
boudoir. See, you done messed up yourself right there. So
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
Niggas always don't tell the whole truth. It'd be
Oh
stuff.
yeah, they'll tell
Yeah.
the whole truth. They like,
Yeah.
no, she just don't like me doing it. I
Yeah.
don't know
Right. Yeah.
why. I'm just
Right.
taking pictures. Well,
Um.
yes, man.
So
Appreciate you taking the time to come on to the Hemothy podcast. And until the next podcast, y'all stay safe out there. It's T
sweet. Thanks
Med.
for having me, bro.
All right, appreciate you. Peace.